Sorry, but I cannot speak Serbian. Okay, I already know some words. I'm trying to get in touch with the local culture, and language is a part of that. So I have to speak in English. Sorry for that. First of all, thanks for Belgrade Cultural Center for welcoming us here to this presentation, to David Pujado that invited us to be here sharing these books and this experience. And of course to our ambassador here in Belgrade, and Instituto Camões. Muito obrigado pela presença e pelo apoio e por esses cruzamentos que eu acho que são fundamentais para que todos possamos partilhar estas nossas experiências, vivências e as nossas culturas. So I bring, and I did some research. So previously, before I talk about this PH series, I will also present some international context about other collection of photo books that marked our history, not our in Portuguese, but photography history in general. So this series that you have the two books there. The one from Žorža Moldera and Paula Nozolina. It's a collection of Portuguese contemporary photographers, and the idea is to publish 2 or 3 per year. With this collection, we want to mark the history of Portuguese contemporary photography. So when we think with this kind of collection, it's a way to preserve our memory and our contemporary culture with this collection. All these books, we invite different curator or writer or photography specialist to write an essay about the author of the book. And we are printing these books with the Imprensa Nacional. Imprensa Nacional is the official printing office in Portugal. Of course, they also print our identity cards or our passports, but also they have a really important paper on the promotion of Portuguese culture and language. This year it's the 250 years of the Imprensa Nacional, so for the last 250 years we are publishing books and promoting Portuguese culture in Portugal and abroad also. And like I was saying, so that, I brought a bit of a research that I did for a context, that you can understand how we reach this series and how important it is to create this kind of memory. So in 1976, it was the first collection of photography books that was launched. It was from Aperture in the United States, and then in '82, the more and the best European collection called Photo Ph in France. I will talk about a bit more over everyone, but just to have an idea about this, the dates and how this was evolving. So in Spain, Photo Bolsillo was launched in '98. Photo Torst, a very good also collection from Czech Republic, was started in 2000. Then a more commercial series launched in the UK by Faden, with this Faden 55 collection in 2001, and then our series that you have there, Portuguese series, PH series in 2017. So the Aperture Master of Photography in the USA was launched in '76. These images are from the second edition, because they after some years, because the collection was quite traditional, so they found they need to change to get to a broader public. And edited by Aperture, that they have one of I could say best international photography magazines. They have a foundation. They are really working hard to promote photography in different kind of senses, with workshops, with the editions they have, with the exhibition. So they are doing a really good job. Then Fotoposh, just Fotoposh and Aperture, they have one thing in common. The person who was behind the two series was the same. It was Roberto Del Pire, first in the US and then in France, that in 82 he creates the Fotoposh series, and he presented this idea to the Minister of Culture in France, and he accepted the idea, so he started in 82, and I think in Europe it's the reference for these book collections we have. Also this series, and also in Spain, and the fotobolsillo. Fotobolsillo, so it means like a kind of small pocket, no? They are edited by La Fábrica. It's the same who organized this biggest photo festival in Spain called Foto España, and they are the same team, they are the same company that organized Foto España, and they published the Fotobolsillo. Nowadays they already publish more than 100 photo books on this collection, besides all of the other ones they publish in another series, but in Fotobolsillo they published more than 100, and they have like Juan Fontcuberta and all Spanish masters of photography. First, they start to publish just Spanish, then they open the range to Latin American photographers, then to African photographers. So, but nowadays it's more not just Spanish photography, but more wide. In Czech Republic, in the year 2000, they launched a very good collection of photo books, with most of these great photographers from Czech Republic, like Kudelka or Sudek. This editor, Torst, they also edit, besides this collection, like all the work from Sudek, so it's one of the Czech masters of photography. And they create this collection in 2000, like the other two before, like Fotoposh and Fotobolsillo. These kind of collections, they are small, more like a pocket size, not pocket, but they are small, and they have also a good quality, but in a affordable price. All the three collections that I have showed here. And then more recently, in 2001, Faden, this very famous editor in UK and now abroad, they published the Faden 55. So on the top we have the first series of Faden 55. On the bottom you have the new format. They publish in different kind of formats, hardcover, paperback, different formats. They were changing quite at least 3 or 4 different formats. But they also published like big names of photography. But they need to all the series, the first one, the second one, they have the 55 on the number, but because each book just have 55 photos from each author. So now going back to PH series, to how we create and how I come to these books we have now.
Let me say that I know quite well Fotobolsillo. That has nothing to compare. This book that you are 10 times better. That Fotobolsillo. It's true that they are quite little.
Yeah,
we have here some ones where they can some photographers to Cervantes, and they are Fotobolsillo.
Yeah, they are smaller, but that we have.
No, it's a good work.
It's a good work,
of course.
And if we had more Fotobolsillo in other countries, I think all of us
we would like to have here. I don't know how it's spoken in Serbia.
You can, as the director of the photo months, you can start to.
They are better than me. They're
but I brought this sequence of time just to show how much time it takes to prepare a project like this. And it was like I have to say, I will share one thing with you. I presented the project in 2015. I prepared all the concept and so on, and I went to Imprensa Nacional to try to present the project. And they told me, it's a good idea, so let's think about this. Then I started to pressure again. And one day I went to the director and I said to him, because he really is I think he's a guy with a vision of culture. And I share his vision, and hopefully he understood how this is important for our culture. And Juan Moncayo, the director of Imprensa Nacional, I went to meet him again and said, I already published books in my name, I already plant trees, and I already have a baby. So this is a project that I really need to share with the people. So after some months, and he get the approval. So in 2016 he approved the project. In 2017 we start to prepare the first issue. First of all, I asked to 3 designers. I made a really detailed briefing for what I would like to have on the collection. Like if you see it before, all the photography books, they have a photo in the cover, and on this collection we don't have. We would like to have, for example, a collection. This is contemporary collection today, but in 10 years, I hope in 10 years I still do this, I hope. And but I was thinking, like, in 10 years I want to have a collection that in 10 years it's also a contemporary collection. So when we print like the cover is like extra black cover with silver, just this. This is the only thing you have on the cover. And then another detail that I will share with you. So all these details, it was like a hard work with the designer, with the proposals, to find the best solution for the collection. And then we start the first edition, and we launched the first edition in 2017. We start the second one, and then in 2018 we launched the second one. Because with each of these photographers, I'm working like an artisan. So I go every week, for example, to the studio of the photographer to choose the works, to research, because we want to have in-edit work in all of our books. So the photographers also have to give us some, in a way, they have to be open-minded I can start to see work that they were never published, and maybe, I don't want to show this or that, well, it is a long process, in a way. And in 2018 we launched the second one, Paula Nozolina, and we print 1,000 copies, and in 3 months we sold out the first edition. So we reprint the second edition of the number 2, and nowadays I asked just before I came here to know more or less how are the sales, and they told me half of the second edition is sold also. So we are talking about a really specific public audience, no? Because photography is, and in Portugal we are just 10 million of people, so selling 1,000 copies of a book like this, for us it was a success. And this year we are preparing the 3rd and the 4th number, and I will show already the covers, because we are in 1 month. I think we can get the two books ready. And now I will, if I can get one of the books, if you don't mind. This one. Yeah, then I can share it. Just to share with you, because the books they don't have name. So the name of the book is the name of the author. No, the only thing we have is the name of the collection, PH, and we don't put any number because we don't want to put 1 or 2, because they are photographers, they are artists, so they want all to be the number 1. So the only thing, it's on the spine we have the number here, but not on the cover. And we print this. This is an extra black paper, and just with with the silver on the cover. The difference between all the numbers is that we change these first pages and the last 2 pages. It's the only difference that we change from one book to the other. So each author will have a different color. The third one it will be blue, the fourth one it will be green. Yeah. And each book, like I was telling, is one photographer and one writer. And then we would like to publish in at least 1 or 2 or 3, or the ones we can, and make sense, inedit works never published by these authors. And because of they have 40 years of work, for example, each one of them. So we try to have a body of work that reflects all this career, no? But besides of that, we want to have an identity that is an identity of the author, but also an identity of the collection. So we have to make here a balance that we create different narratives for each photographer. For example, this one is a chronological narrative, but this one we create short stories and we mix different kind of series from the author. For example, this one is from a series called TV from '96. This is from a series called Ocultações. How can I twist Ocultações? No, occultations, no. Ocultações, hidden. Well, but it's a different series from 2008. So we create stories along the book. So, and this is you have some white pages to make a pause, a moment that you can breathe, and then you start a new story in a way. But we mixed. It's not a chronological way. This one is a chronological. So we try to find the best way to work with the work of the photographer, but in a way to create an identity that is the identity of the collection. We print each edition 1,000 copies, and all the books has the same pages, 136, and all the books has the same price. I put the price here because it's an important issue. In Portugal, these kind of books are much more expensive, and we try to have an affordable price to reach a bigger audience, and to, in a way, we can be not like in a school, but we can give formation through the books if the people can have this body of work with the text and with the pictures from the big masters of photography in Portugal. So the two ones that you have on the hands, they are already published, Žorža Moldera and Paula Nozolina. The one from Žorža Moldera we published with the text from José Bragança de Miranda. It's a professor in the university in Lisbon. And we launched in November 2017, like I told you. And here I will share a bit of the process. So on this image, it's in his studio. Žorža Moldera is here on the left side. And we were looking into prints he has never showed before. So I was going once a week to his studio, passing some hours there, working with him. And so it's a process that it takes some time. And the other image is it's almost on the end of the process, when we had already chosen most of the photographs, and we have all the book, and with all the images on the floor and on the table, that we can have all the scenario from all the pictures that we want to publish. And if there were some that, okay, this one is not fitting here, this one is to take out, we need to put another one here. So it was the end of the process, almost before the printing, but the editing was almost done there. And I bring two small spots that we use to promote So the series. So we did this because it was important to show how the Imprensa Nacional, that more or less is connected in a way to a more old-fashioned publishing house, and we want to share that and to show that we were doing like a new work, and that it's not good books that they are just for some small group of people. So we shared this on social networks and so on. So the idea was to try to share it with the more large audience. So, and with Paula Nozolina, the second one, we invite Serija Ph. It's one of our biggest photography curators. He was also involved in Spain. He's a professor in more than 2 universities, in Spain, in Lisbon. I don't know if now he's in Coimbra also. So he's one of the persons in Portugal who write more about photography. And he wrote a really nice essay about Paula Nozolina. And also Juan wrote, it's a poet, and he wrote a poet specific for Paula Nozolina and for the book. Because Paula Nozolina invited him, it was like a specific work of Juan. And there's a mistake here, it was not May 2017, it was May 2018. And then here the same, I brought 2 pictures to share with you the process. So Paula Nozolina, normally he's publishing with Steidl in Germany. He has like really good books from Steidl. And he knows quite well the printing process. So, and I go to check every paper that comes from the printing machine. And I go myself, but with him, he's also involved in this process. So this is the image of the printing house, where we were checking the proofs from the printing company. And then on the other side, it's in his studio, because he's really well organized. He has like, his studio is like kind of a laboratory. So it's really everything on if the water is here, it has to be here, and he's like, but in a way it was a really interesting work. We worked with him and also with Žorža Moldera, because they are like kind of Portuguese masters of photography in a way. And I have to thank both of them to say, because they didn't know me, so, and they accepted the project, so it was also a bet from their part on the project in a way. And this is the other one. All these photos are on the books, the photos we use for the videos, and both of them they accept that we, in a way, we have to make some, not transformation, but we have to cut some images to create this small animation. But both of them, they said it was okay. They don't have any problem with the work we have done. So, and because of the importance to share this with the bigger audience, we also make an effort to be on the newspapers or radio or TV, whatever. The first quotation is from a journalist from the mainly news magazine in Portugal called Visão. It's a weekly magazine, and she did an article that reflects one of the goals of the project. This idea of a public service. The second one, it's our Expresso. It's the mainly Portuguese newspaper. It's a weekly newspaper, and they give us 5 stars on the books for the 2 books for the collection. Then the third quotation is from the director of the Finnish Museum of Photography, because we want to try to share this with in other countries, like we are doing now here, and that's why we also brought the quotation from David Pujador. And also from Vitor Neves. He was director of the oldest, after Arles, oldest photo festival in Europe. And it finished last year, but he's also director of the prize from contemporary art in Galicia. And this is important for us because photography is for a small market, and if you try to create bridges with other countries, with other museums, with other contemporary curators, with other galleries, with all the cultural agents from Portugal and abroad, I think we can do a better job in a way. So now, almost in the end, I will share with you the next 2 ones. The third one would be Helena Almeida. Unfortunately, she died some months ago in the middle of the process. She already saw the cover, but she fell down from stairs and she died. And now we are finished the book with she have an assistant, so we continue the process. So it was. And we will launch the book next month. And then Fernando Lemos, it's a Portuguese photographer. He lived in Brazil since 52, 53, and he now is like Portuguese Brazilian because he have two countries in a way. Fernando Lemos is 93 years old. He was a surrealistic photographer, also a painter, also a designer. And so I think and I will share the cover with you. So like you can see the first 2 ones you have there, and then the one from Helena Almeida with the blue dot, and then Fernando Lemos with the green dot. And we hope to, in 1 year, to have, besides these 4, 2 more. Let's see. And I think it's all. Thank you very much. Wow. So, I don't know if you have any questions, or we can share more ideas about the books or the.
And I wonder if you could share with us a little bit of the process, what happened with the book of Helena Almeida and Fernando Lemos, because I think it's really a major issue of the collection, how you prepare the scores and so on. So even it's not possible to have the books, but maybe you could share a little bit of that with us.
So the one from Helena Almeida, she have an incredible body of work, and besides the work I do in the studio of the artists, I have my own collection of photo books, of course, but I don't have all. So I go to main libraries in Portugal, mostly in Gulbenkian, because I have a really good art collection, photography collection. And with Helena Almeida, we will do, it's a chronological work, like more or less the one from Paula Nozolina. Because it's the first moment after she died that we will talk about this, because it's like it's a matter of respect in a way. So we will do a chronological, because she just saw the cover, she didn't saw the inside part. So it will be chronological work, body of work, and we try to have work since the beginning of her career, since 67, 68. Till the last work from 2018. So we have, I think, a really strong body of work with this book. And we do another thing. We went to her studio because she. I really recommend. I will put the name here. It's easier for it. So if you don't know Helena Almeida, I really recommend you to check her work because she has an amazing work. And when you dig, it's more interesting. And we found out all the sketches on her studio because she do a lot of self-representation and self-portraits. And she draws every single movement, like how she wants the arm, how she wants the leg, how she wants to move from here to with the steps on the studio. And we will use on the book some of these sketches to show, because it's a completely different work. For example, from Paula Nozolina. Paula Nozolina, he's traveling all around the world, and then he's doing more like this moment shots, and she was doing a completely different work. She draws everything, and then she's taking pictures or films about her work. With Fernando Lemos was also a different process. He is living in São Paulo, so I did most of the work in Lisbon. I have some books from him. And when I have more or less the book ready, or the narrative and the book almost ready, I went to São Paulo to meet him and to work in his studio to see inedit work that I can publish and that I can use on this narrative. And it was really interesting because some of the work, it's amazing when you are with a 93 years old photographer that you can start to talk about each picture from the first one. It's around 1949, and he starts to talk about, oh, when I did this picture it was like that and that and that, and then he goes and it's amazing. It's quite a lot of experience. Even for me, this is just pleasure in a way. So I'm really happy to work with all these great photographers and artists. Well, so I grew up looking and learning from their work, so for me it's a pleasure. So I don't know if I answer your question. Yeah?
Yes, for example, in the process of the selection of the photographers, what was it like to work with them? I mean, in a way you are the author, you are the editor, so you are supposed to choose from their work. And then they're also there. They maybe want to suggest you, no, take this one. I mean, was it like that, or were you really free to make your own selection?
It was a mix. Also, in the first two with Žorža Moldera, I went once a week to his studio, but I really quite well his work. So I went to him and said, okay, I want to publish this series from 1990, and he was really open-minded and he was sharing work that I never saw before, or it was never published. So with Žorža Moldera was like that, but they were incredible. So it was a work in four hands, shared work. With Nozolino, because Nozolino is a special character. For example, in that collection, Photo Ph, the one from France, it's an example for all photographers, and he refused to be part of that collection. He said, no, I don't want, because they publish some photographer he don't like, and he thinks he's not good, so I don't want to be on the same collection of this guy. So with Paula Nozolina, it was a different work, and he is used to publish which title, and he choose every picture from the work, so he's used to do this by himself. So most of the bigger body of work was chosen by him and by Sergio Ph, the guy who wrote the text. So I was I was not interfering so much. On the second one. Then on Helena Almeida was more or less the same process as Žorža Moldera, that I was choosing most of the images. And with Fernando Lemos was amazing because I met him just once in Lisbon like 1 year ago. So when I went to São Paulo and met him personally, it was, in fact, we were in the opening once, so that when I went to work with him, after a while he said to me, okay, you choose whatever you want, because I know that what are you choose, because he said something like, you have an experience of an old guy, he told me. And it was like a compliment. It was a compliment, yeah. So because I was making like kind of a homework in a way, no? And when I presented him what I want, it was really solid. So, but there it was really funny and really nice experience, because he wants to show me other body of work that I don't know. So it was a really, so we'll publish some image never published more than in these two. So I think we will have like 12 images never published from Fernando Lemos.
If I may add, because we focused a few minutes ago, one thing that is very interesting. He's 93 years old. He's, quite at shape, and he will be in Lisbon for the launching of.
Yeah, he will be in Lisbon, because at the same time there will be kind of different celebrations about his work. Because Fernando Lemos is also a designer, also an artist, also a poet. We have in the Imprensa Nacional a book published with his poems from the 70s. And he will be in Portugal for a big opening the 6th of June. In the Design Museum, there will be kind of a retrospective of his body of work, but just on the design part. And then in one of the oldest art galleries in Lisbon, Galerija 111, he will show new work from new drawing and painting. And in another gallery, Raton, they just work with tiles. He will present his work on tiles. So it will be like 3 different exhibitions, and the book, another catalog, all at the same time in the beginning of June. And he was well. I could do. I didn't bring image from the two, but when in some 2 or 3 months you can have the book. So.
Can I just ask you one thing, and please do not answer if you can't answer. But we know already from the two that are almost in the launching process. Can you tell us what you're thinking about next?
The next one after this 4, I already had the meeting with the guy, but I don't have the contract yet.
Okay, so that's why I told you. Answer if you can, but I understand if you cannot.
Yeah, and I'm doing this kind of work like I work with one photographer, so it's like a kind of artisan work. So I dedicate myself to this artist. So when I almost finish this, I go to the other, because they are artist photographers, and we have to give them time and assistance in a way.
Yes, and you have to do a great part of studying for us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I think you can explain a little bit what is the idea of the whole collection. So not only documentary, but...
See, the idea is to have the Portuguese photography, contemporary photography in this collection. Of course, I will have, not now, but maybe in 2 years I will have one of the biggest names of fashion photography, for example, or documental photography. The idea is not to have just artists in a way. It's to have the big range of photographers. But first I have to publish the ones that they have like a body of work that can be representative. So these two, they have 40 years of work. So.
And do you think that the Imprensa Nacional will understand all your ideas about photography publishing? Because it's a rare situation with such a big printing house.
It's a good question.
As far as I understood, this Imprensa Nacional does also books on different fields of Portuguese culture.
Yeah, of course.
It is a kind of state project.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm really happy.
The mission of Imprensa Nacional is to publish and to preserve Portuguese language and culture. And so in this
the best of.
And for example, there's a new design. There's a design collection of books from the biggest designers in Portugal. There's a collection just with poetry. There's a collection just about the Portuguese museums. You have everything.
Also
Writers, of course, and we have prizes in other countries with Portuguese language, like in Cabo Verde, São Tomé, Timor. So we are trying to create projects in these countries to promote Portuguese language there, and writers in not Portuguese, but writers that write in Portuguese. They could be from Brazil, from Cabo Verde, from wherever. And now there's a new prize between Imprensa Nacional and Instituto Camões from Portuguese or that are in diaspora. So it could be any.
It was launched a few 1 week ago.
Yeah, it's really recent. Yeah. But going back for all the Portuguese that they are working or living abroad. Not just in the Portuguese-talking countries, but if they are Portuguese living here in Serbia, that they are writers, or they can apply to these awards.
In all fields, artistic fields.
No, it is a specific writing. Yeah.
You can see the project and the prize in our website.
Oh yes.
And going back, just going back to your question, because I have to say that it depends really on the person that you are talking to. And when I present this project to Duarte Zinheira, he's director of Imprensa Nacional, and he has a really good vision of culture, and he understood that this is important. If it was another person with a different...
Yes, I'm just asking about the future. So are the people or that Mr. Director, are they going to understand all your ideas about how to preserve and present Portuguese photography?
I can say that if he's still there for the next years, I will do this project. If he's going to another whatever, I don't know if the new director but this is a project that I'm sure my way is this way. So if it comes another person that don't understand, then we have to, I don't know, negotiate. I don't know.
But if I may help you, I think that after 4 editions with such a success as Paula Nozolina, I believe that the next director, if this one doesn't continue, and they can be preserved for quite a long time, it will be difficult to stop. It's a project that is already on its way. So
no, that's true. But we don't know.
More time, spend more time convincing, but then
we hope so.
And sorry, how do you distribute the books, or who is distributing?
Well, besides the normal libraries that Imprensa Nacional has, at least 2 in Lisbon, 1 in Coimbra, 1 in Oporto, all these kind of like FNAC or the other magazine, the other libraries, they not all in. For example, Bertrand, it's a big company that distributes books and libraries. But Bertrand, I think they don't have. But other libraries. Bookshops. Yes, bookshops. Sorry?
Are there bookshops around Europe?
Well, I know that they are selling the books in some bookshops abroad, but I don't know the net, because it depends on the international distributor, or if for example, some specific bookshop ask for the books. For example, I received an email from the one from Paula Nozolina. It was a French bookshop. They told me, we want 10, but you can just send me 10 and. So it depends. I'm not doing this part. So when I receive these contacts, I pass to a colleague that is in charge of this distribution in a way.
But But there's a violence with all the Portuguese countries.
You can, but you can buy, you can order online or in the bookshops. I don't have it here with me. I brought two for the ambassador and two for the cultural center. But online you can order. Yeah.
The site.
Yeah, I can give you a card and I write the address.
I'm sorry, there is an online site, yes?
Yes, because the Imprensa Nacional, they have the shop where they have a website where they sell all the books. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can pass you the web link.
I suppose it's PH series.
No, it's not, because the Imprensa Nacional, it's a biggest company that it's Imprensa Nacional Casa da Moeda. It means like it's national the mint. It's the mint. So they print, they publish the books, they print the books, but also the coins. So that's the mint, how Portuguese mint. And so this is two areas of the since 1972. It's the same company. It belongs to the state, but it's a sociedade anonymous or anonymous society, but it belongs to the state. And I'll give you but in this link, it's an online shop where you have the books and also the coins, all the. Well, thank you very much. Paula.
Let's see.